What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. Things in the scale world are heating up. Lots to talk about. If you enjoy the Scale News Update regularly, hit the like button, and we got to jump into all of this week's topics. First for this week, just in time for the holiday season, Vanquish has released the Optic Kit version, the H10 Optic Kit. This one was done much different than most kits. While it is a kit version of the RTR vehicle, it does have a number of upgrades, which is pretty normal. It comes with machined ring and pinions in the axles, hard anodized shocks, also comes with the aluminum motor plate, aluminum posts on the transmission. The chassis is black, and the body panels, there's 6 different versions or liveries. All of the body panels are molded in a specific color, and each one comes with its own set of graphics that match it. However, you don't get to pick what color you get. It's like a mystery. You get one kit and you don't know what's inside. It's not marked on the box or anything like that. The fact that it is this mystery version, you don't get to choose which one you get, also allowed for all of these versions to be offered in the kit, because if you had each one done separately, then shops would have to try and either decide if they were going to carry one or all of them and how they wanted to do that, and that just wouldn't be the typical route to be done. So this was done in a very atypical manner. Some people like it, some people don't. That's just the way things go. Also, there is a mystery 7th variant. Now, it's less of a mystery because it was shown on the Vanquish live stream on the Tuesday of the release. And what the mystery version is fully molded carbon fiber panels. True molded carbon fiber hood, sides, roof, and then rear flags as well for the cage. They look fantastic in person, and they're mixed in the batch, and they will continue to be mixed in throughout the lifespan of the vehicle at this point. So a fun little version of it. Those mystery panels worth more on their own than the whole rest of the kit. So the lucky ones that do get them in their package should be pretty excited. But those are available now for pre-order and supposed to be shipping early December. Well, the first batch is shipping early December. The first batch did sell out, and now it's on to the second, which is shipping mid-December. So just a couple weeks late, but should be available for Christmas if you didn't get in on that first one. If you're interested in that, I'll put a link to the kit in the description below. Next, CEN released the Sicario or Sicario. I can't remember exactly how you put that. Anyway, Sicario is a hired assassin or hitman, specifically in Latin America, I think was the definition of it when I looked it up. But I'm also told it's a movie that I have not seen, but I'm told is worth seeing. This is another CEN of the DL series, which is that, lifted brodozer type. This is a dually version. I'm not sure if that's what DL stands for, if all of the DL series are the dually or not. I can't remember. Underneath of this classic styled body, I believe that this is styled after a 60s Chevy specifically, but it's not licensed body like the previous Ford F450s and 250s. Underneath, pretty much unchanged. There's some difference with molded bumpers, grille, LEDs that are included as well, but most of the rest of it pretty much unchanged. But if you like the style of these trucks, which a lot of people do, then this is just another option that fits in there if you didn't, again, like the more modern F450 or 250 options that CEN was offering. So I put a video up on that last Thursday. If you want more details on it, you can check that out. Last week, Proline released a 2004 Jeep LJ, which is the longer version of the TJ, which was from 97 to like 06 or so, 05, 06, somewhere there. The stretched version of that. And this looks like it's using that cage that they developed on that FJ style body, but there's just something about I love Jeeps and I love LJs both. However, something about this just isn't right. It just doesn't look right. I'm not sure if it's just how they have it setting on top of this SCX3, but it doesn't look right. It doesn't look, personal opinion, of course, like this entire show. But, I mean, I like Proline bodies for the most part. I think that they usually do a great job. I just don't I don't think this one checked all the boxes. I don't know where it fell short, but something just isn't right about it. In my opinion, I don't know. Steering wheel's sitting up at this weird, crazy angle. The dash does look appropriate scale to TJ, which is cool. But yeah, just something else about that. I don't know. They released this in 110 scale and 124 scale. The 124 scale, I think, is using like the deadbolt style cage. And it looks better, I think. At least in my opinion. 124 scale bodies oftentimes have a little bit of a weird proportion kind of as things go. But this 10 scale one, man, I don't know. Of course, reactions were mixed online with like everything. Some people liked it. Some people were very boisterous about their opinions and how it appeared. I don't know. You can let me know what side of that line that you sit on, or are you just on the middle and just like, I don't know. I don't like Jeeps, so I don't care either way. I feel like if you like Jeeps, you're more offended than if you didn't like them. JConcepts then released a tucked version of the F-150 body, the 1979 Ford F-150 body in a tucked version. Now, it's not often that we got JConcepts and Proline releasing bodies in the same week, and the JConcepts version is the better looking one. But I think this week they've got it. Now, it's not still the best looking. It's still a very cab forward, very long bed, rear wheel arches, oddly, all the way at the back. I mean, I know that's for departure angle and stuff like that. Paint job looks, weathered, patinaed, not bad in the product photos. And overall, I think that this is one of their better looking tucked bodies. So 79 Ford F-150 is like not a bad looking square F-150. I don't mind it. Overall, this body's like, all right, it's fine. It's fine. It's not great. It's not bad. It's fine. This week, ProTek released a few new servos. Last week, EcoPower, A-Main's house brand, released some servos. This week, ProTek, also a house brand of A-Main, released some servos, which have similar specs, but not the same. These servos in general are a little faster. They're all aluminum cased as well, but the RC 815 mid profile, which is, again, like last week with the EcoPower, it's kind of like an in-between height between a low profile and a standard. It's got crazy power again, over 800 ounce inches in the upper end of that at a decent price. 120 bucks for a, just barely sub 900 ounce inch servo is impressive. Then they also have the low profile one, which is the 575. That also just under 600 ounce inches in a low profile servo at, again, a reasonable price. All aluminum case. Nice job. I mean, ProTek has made good servos. The 370 TBL has been one that's worked for me a lot in the past as well. These appear to be some nice new offerings from ProTek. If you're interested, looking for a new servo for some reason, these look like great choices. Speaking of EcoPower, EcoPower did release a new Electron dual charger. Now, this thing looks oddly familiar to the IMARS dual charger from Gensace, which it is. It's that. This is a smart charger also. A-Main has released some new batteries here recently that also have that smart tech. They're not identifying that this is the G-Tech stuff that Gensace has. They're just calling it an intelligent battery system. Obviously, they're having Gensace make it and just relabel it to them, but they're not identifying it's the same tech, which you would think would be a selling point. Like, hey, it's cross-compatible with all of these other batteries as well. But I don't know. They're not saying that. It does have a slightly different case to this charger. The sides of it have some chamfers rather than the fillets that the Gensace one does. But other than that, it's the exact same, it appears. Not sure if the graphics on the display have been tweaked slightly or not, but the same. Now, they didn't undercut cost or anything like that. It's the exact same price as the Gensace model. It appears to have all of the same features, all of the same power, everything across the board. So they're just rebranding it as their own and going forward. I don't see anything wrong about that. I actually have the dual charger from Gensace, and it's a fantastic charger. So just because it's labeled EcoPower, I would expect nothing to be changed, and also a great charger probably. maybe there's the better chance that this will go on some sort of promotion and things like that with A-Main, because it's a, you know, now a house brand and they'll want to push it. So might be worth it to watch out for things like that. Maybe it shows up in Black Friday stuff even. Who knows? And speaking of worth watching, member videos, those are worth segues. Channel membership helps support the channel a little bit extra. You get some extra behind the scenes videos like After News Delight, which I accidentally set to not just channel members last week for about 2 hours. So a bunch of you got to look at that for a couple hours beforehand, which worked out well because we got a handful of new members, but not a normal or purposeful tactic. It just, I was tired when I hit the upload button. But After News Delight, extension of the Scale News, where I go back over the topics, talk a little bit more about each one, sometimes things that I just didn't have time for in the news, or, you know, extra opinions about it. But if you're interested in that, I'll put a link in the description below where you can go check out all of the information about that. But I appreciate all of you for watching, whether you're members or not. And if you work for an RC company and you'd like to see some of your products on the Scale News update, you can send them to the email news@harleydesigns.com. Include the photo, description, and link to your website with all of the information for that product in that email. I'll try and get it on the Scale News. Thanks to Holmes Hobbies for sponsoring Scale News Update for this month. Holmes Hobbies also has the V3 Crawlmaster ESC and 1800 kV 540M revolver combos available now at a great price. It's the exact same system that I run in a couple of my buggies. My most recent buggy right there is running that same setup, super smooth. Love the power of it. Highly recommend. And I'll link to that product down below. And if you've been in the hobby for very long, you probably have heard of Holmes Hobbies. They've been doing this crawler stuff for a really long time. Definitely a company worth checking out. Scale Garage Systems just released this beautiful tow truck conversion for the Land Rover from Boom Racing. This is a beautiful rear tow truck conversion. Just the small panels, all of the details, the boom, everything about this is just amazing looking. And their photography for the products, the finish of the vehicle that they use to photograph it with, all of it is amazingly impressive. Every time I see these things, I'm just blown away. And the price of this conversion, not bad. It's $250 for this amazingly intricate, detailed construction of these things. You just can't beat it. If you have any love for this style, I mean, you can't do anything but improve a Land Rover by, you know, it seems like Land Rovers generally would need the tow truck in front of them, but irony, I guess. You can go check out Scale Garage Systems website, and I'll put a link to that below as well. We've talked a little bit about UDI RC in the past. They've made a number of super inexpensive cars in a number of different scales, as well as boats. I think I have their little jet ski, which has been a lot of fun. But they now have the UCX 24 platform, a micro crawler, straight axle, solid axle type set. I'm not 100% sure if this is developed off of another, or like a rebadged platform or something like that. It didn't immediately jump out at me. It looks somewhat familiar, but I can't 100% say. It might be 100% their own. Again, UDI is popular in a number of areas outside of the US, more so than here, but we've seen more and more of them land in the US in 2024. Now, they released the 1/18th scale Jimny hardbody version on the 1/24 scale platform. Like, they even know, like, well, this is an 18 scale body, it's a 1/24 scale platform. Trying to be clear with it, but hardbody, you know, licensed the whole thing, and the price isn't bad. It's going up against competitors like the SCX 24 though, which has, you know, all of the aftermarket behind it. So it's a little bit difficult to be right in that same price range for it. I think UDI's strong point previously has been their super low cost. So a little bit tough there, but if you just love Jimnys, it's another option. They also have a UCX 24 that is a 1/24 scale with the Salvator hard body, a power wagon. Unlicensed, but it is still a hard body, and it's $10 cheaper than the Jimny was. So same platform underneath. If either of those look like something you might be interested, you can find those now in stock for the holiday season. And speaking of in stock, but maybe not for long, Horizon has massive markdowns. This is the little tag that they put right on the product on their website on a number of things that maybe kind of surprised me. And when they say massive markdown, this little tag they put on there, they mean it. Like 50 to 70% off a lot of these things. The Firma 2-in-1 that they have, which is like a hobby wing based unit, $72, which is like about 50% off of the $140 price that they have. 2.2 Baja Pro X's, Proline Baja Pro, like 70% off, $13 for the pair of those. 1.9 Hyrax G8s, also 13 bucks, about 70% off. That one really surprised me. This type of markdown would usually, to me, think discontinuing. And the G8 Hyrax has always seemed like a bit of a staple. I'd be surprised to hear that the sales on that really fell off, but but maybe they have. The Proline Tacoma body, this was the 2015 Tacoma, it's about 60% off. This was an expensive body, up around that 80 bucks, but now it's $28. They have the Gravedigger for the LMT, that was like a $105 body, $39. Pre-painted, it's a finished body that is detailed, done pretty well, 39 bucks. I also found it surprising, the Ryft replacement axle housing for the front was like 50%. It's like $7 or something like that, which that's odd to me just because like, I think it stopped supporting the Ryft. Like you're blowing out replacement parts. That seems very odd. Why would you do that if the car isn't dead? And even if it is, like you need to carry replacement parts for a while. So why are you blowing out a part that literally blows out almost every time you drive it? It does have, that front axle has a lot of reviews and it's got a 1-star rating. Like you probably should keep those around unless there's just a whole nother version that they're going to release or something like that. I don't know. Sometimes Horizon just does weird stuff like that. You never know, but there was more massive markdown items, but those were a bunch of the, super notable ones I felt. I'll put links to each one of those. Those will all be in the description below in case you just want to take a shortcut to taking a look. This Wednesday's live stream takeover pre-Turkey Day edition. Matt and I will be doing our shopping lists for the Black Friday / holiday season. So come check that out. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Looking forward to that show as always. And reflecting on the fact that this Wednesday is the final week of Praise Wheel, the series where Matt and I have been upgrading our H10 optics by direction of a hateful wheel. Last week, going live on Wednesday, unless you remember, which then it'll be live by the time you see this video. And then Red Cat bookending the 1964 Impala lowrider that they released a handful of years back. Now they're releasing a 63 and a 64 lowrider. Hi, Chief. These new ones from Red Cat, I mean, Red Cat seems to be doing this lowrider space so well. They look so good. I love the colors that they chose for these. A champagne version, old school silver, the deep red. They just do such a good job. Got another version of the hopping lowrider, which looks wildly impressive. And I've never actually used one of those. They do look kind of fun, but they just did a great job. Huge lineup now, 63, 64, 65 Impalas, the 59 Caddy. They've got the G bodies as well. There's difference between the platforms. Like the 63 here is another hopper. They've had ones that were they had motion, but they didn't actually do the full hop. In case you're interested in a lowrider, number of different price points from them, but these two new versions look fantastic. Monday on social media, Losi and TLR both posted statements, that big paragraph photo wall of text stating that they were like looking for brand ambassadors and race organizers in some new areas. Well, that was on the Losi one mainly. And then on the TLR one, going through and talking about that they're going to be doing the Racers Payout program a little bit differently, as well as they hope to be redoing their line of vehicles, as I've been told that their race lineup feels a bit dated, or is just revamped versions or slightly updated versions of cars that have aged out kind of. But it was just the way that they posted these. It's a lot of text for really what the point out of both of them was. It just seemed very odd. And I don't know, there was too much non-speak in, I did take and copy the text specifically out of the Losi one and paste it into a AI text detector to see if by chance someone was just like, hey, write me a thing that says that, and it was like, this text is likely 47% AI generated and 53% not. So that's what it feels like to me. It feels like somebody had a word count to meet and they were like, expand. Very odd. I took and just typed into ChatGPT like, hey, write me a statement about the scale news probably continuing for another year, and put it on a background with my logo at the top. And then it gave me a thing it sounds the exact same. It's the same amount of like non-speak. It sounds very professional. It sounds very fun, very marketing. If you haven't read the Losi or TLR ones, at the end of this video, I'll put those, and then I'll put this other one that I had AI make just at the end as well. If you're bored enough to read 3 huge photos of texts. If you are that bored, you can drop a comment below. I'd be interested to see how many of you actually read it. But that is going to do it for this week's news topics. For this week's question, let's keep it light. What is your favorite food item for Turkey Day? I have a soft spot for cranberry and cranberry related items. Cranberry salad, cranberry dressing out of a can. Love me some cranberries. But with that, hope you all have a great rest of the week. Great holiday if you get to enjoy it. And with that, as always, thanks again for watching Scale News Update every Tuesday. Hit the like button if you do enjoy it. Subscribe if you're not already. Even if you don't like it, subscribe. Why not? Channel memberships available in case you really don't like it. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.